All right, let's just get right into it. This isn't your typical financial advice, and it's definitely not some guru trying to sell you a dream. This is a direct roadmap. It's the raw logic from us here at the Logic Mint on how you can escape what's shaping up to be a really tough 2026 economy, even if you're starting from absolute zero.
Look, if you feel like you're working harder than ever but still moving backward, you are not crazy. We're seeing sticky inflation, health insurance costs jumping like crazy. The old rules are just broken. Seriously, this has nothing to do with being lazy. It's about facing the fact that the playbook our parents used, it's been torn to shreds.
So the old math, get a good job, save a little, you'll be fine, it's dead. It just won't work anymore. The new math is all about leveraging the cracks in the system. It's about using tax credits as your seed money, using house hacking to wipe out your biggest expense, and grabbing AI gigs to seriously boost your income. But I know what you're thinking. New math? Come on, how does that really fix being broke? It looks great on a slide, sure, but let's talk about the actual first move.
And that gets us to the most important part. Before you can even think about building wealth, you have to stabilize. You have to stop the financial bleeding. And the way you do that is by finding and clawing back the money that is already yours. It's just hidden away inside the system.
Okay, so listen up, because this is your single biggest opportunity for seed capital. Right here, the Earned Income Tax Credit. In 2026, for a whole lot of people earning under 52 grand, this could mean a check for over $7,000. But let's be crystal clear, this is not for a new TV. This is not for a vacation. This is your launch pad. This is your seed money.
And that's not the only pile of cash sitting around. If you have kids born between 2025 and 2028, there are government-seeded savings accounts with $1,000 just waiting in them. You can also use ACA subsidies to potentially get your health premium down to zero, which frees up hundreds of bucks a month. Okay, but let's be real for a second. A few $1,000s is great, but that's not life-changing money. That just pays off some credit card debt. What's the actual play to turn that into real wealth?
Exactly. That seed money is totally useless without an engine to make it grow. So let's get to step 2 and see how this all connects. The 2026 economy is kind of in this weird low hire, low fire state. Your main job? It'll probably keep you stable, but it's not going to make you rich. A second income stream is no longer a luxury, people. It is mandatory if you want to escape the grind.
So you've basically got two main paths. The fast cash route is what we call the AI jig pivot. You're using simple AI tools to do digital chores like transcribing audio or managing social media for like $50 an hour. The other path is the stable ladder. These are the high-demand, hands-on jobs, sometimes called dirty jobs, like being a home health aide, that can pay a solid salary with very little training. But I get it, right? This is where people get stuck. AI gigs sounds really complicated, and let's be honest, a dirty job probably isn't anyone's dream, but we got to be realistic about what the goal is here.
Right, these jobs aren't supposed to be your forever career. They are a tool, a means to an end. And that end is step 3, own the machine. And this is the core principle of this entire roadmap. So listen close. You absolutely, positively cannot get rich while you're paying half your income to a landlord. You have to turn that extra income into an asset that starts working for you.
Which brings us right back to that skepticism from a minute ago. How does a few $1,000s become life-changing? How on earth do you buy a major, wealth-building asset with just that tax refund we were talking about?
You use logic. Here's how. 1. You secure that $7,000 refund. 2. You find a $200,000 duplex. 3. You use that cash for a 3.5% down payment with an FHA loan. 4. You live in one unit and you rent out the other. You literally become a homeowner and a landlord in one single move. But hold on. Let's be real clear. Finding a property, getting a loan, screening tenants, being a landlord, you're not saying this is easy, right? Because that sounds incredibly hard.
I never said it was easy. I said it's math. And this chart shows you the power of that math perfectly. Your tenant's rent payment covers most or maybe even all of your mortgage. Suddenly you're living for free or pretty close to it while somebody else pays down your asset. You are building equity instead of just burning cash on rent. Yeah, it's hard work, but it's the kind of hard work that actually creates freedom.
Okay, but what if that whole duplex strategy just feels like too big of a jump right now? What if you can't find one where you live? The logic doesn't change. The excuse of, I don't have enough money to start investing, is officially dead. If you can't afford a house, you start with $5.
And what's so wild about this slide is the scale of it. $5 a day. That's it. the cost of a fancy coffee. Invested consistently into a simple S&P 500 index fund, something like VOO, it becomes over $350,000 in 30 years. It's the magic of compounding. You don't have to buy the whole building on day one. You can start by just buying one brick.
And this right here might be the most important mindset shift of all. You have to avoid the lotto trap. Hope is not a financial strategy. The broke mindset buys lottery tickets and meme coins just praying for some magic payday. The wealthy mindset buys assets, a tiny piece of a business, a small slice of real estate, and then lets logic and time do all the heavy lifting.
Which brings us to the final step, and it's got nothing to do with money. It's a total mental reprogram. Look, is the system flawed? Yeah, of course, but what this roadmap shows is that the system also has cracks. It has cracks in the tax code, cracks in the housing market, cracks in the labor market, and those cracks are just big enough for you to build a future through.
Just let that sink in for a second. Poor is just a number on a spreadsheet. It's temporary. Broke, well, that's a belief that you're out of options, that you have no moves left. But you do. You have the roadmap now. It's time to get rich, logically.